Let's do this, guys. Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday night. Welcome to Every Day with Jay. This is a little more casual channel where we go over things and chit-chat and talk about true crime and whatever the hell else we want to talk about. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for joining. Today we're going to do something a little different. So I have my Coke Zero. This is my checklist. Coke Zero, paper, and pen. Because we're going to go through this video of Sebastian the first day he went missing. And I'm sure I'm missing a lot. Did I say Saturday night? It's Sunday night. Jennifer loves horses. It's Sunday night. You're right, guys. You're right. Yes, it's Sunday. I got everybody screwed up now. It's Sunday. What did I say earlier? I had something wrong earlier. I know. I'm going to have everybody messed up now. It's all my fault. Hey, Potato. Hey, Shell. Hey, Kels. Hey, Suze. Thanks for becoming a member. I know. I had another blonde moment earlier. I can't remember what it was, though. What was it? Hey, Myron. Wishful thinking. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I know. I'm giving you an extra day. Trisha, you've been in bed sick. I hope you feel better. She thought she slept. She thought she slept a week. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Fiddle. Hey, Mystery. I wish it was still Saturday. No, I'm sorry. Dispatch Crystal has the next 2 days off. Whoop, whoop. What's up, Josie? Oh, that's right. I started a half an hour earlier. Whoopsie daisies. Thank you so much, Shell. Shell coming in hot with $3.99 super sticker. Am I too loud? Am I like blasting in your ears? Oh, Mystery. You've had a bad stomach? Hey, Siobhan. I need lots of caffeine. It's been so hot. I think this heat's going to my brain. Betty, hello. Welcome in. Michelle M., welcome in. Helen, welcome in. Can I tell my boss tomorrow's Sunday? Sure. Say, I heard it on a podcast that it was Saturday. I got all messed up. Welcome in. Hey, Amy. Trixie, look at... I need another cup. I love my cups. I need another one. I was just thinking about you, Trixie, when I filled this up. Every time I fill it up, I think of you. Trixie makes some awesome stuff, y'all. What's up, Yvonne? All right, so we're going to need to put our thinking caps on tonight. So I've got my note taken ready. So what I'm going to need from you guys is, hey, Jay, you're missing this interview or that interview. Thank you again, Shell. That chat box is awfully small. Hi, Gypsy. Good to see you. Okay, that's a little bit better. I don't know. I'm trying. I worked on this screen for a while today. Iced coffee is... Oh, I love iced coffee. Ooh, 6 days till vacation. 92 in Miami. Okay, I will, Crixie. I called you Crixie. Cousin Trixie. Did you guys see the videos about Biden? He gone. We're getting Saharan dust rain? What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. Saharan dust rain in Florida? That's nuts. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video. And this is what I've put together. I think I'm going to play it all the way through. And then afterwards, we'll go through it and see what's missing. Yeah, thinking caps. Homework. What chat program are you using? I like the layout. This is actually Streamlabs OBS. Streamlabs desktop OBS. So here is my video. Let's make sure you've got some sound. Music City Mom, welcome in. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Here we go.
Were there any indication in your communications with Katie that like she didn't want custody, that she didn't want that responsibility, and there were problems, and she was running into some rough waters? Anything like that?
Most of my discussions were actually taken care with Chris, and Sebastian was supposed to come live with me. Chris was working on Katie, on getting her to agree to it. And all I wanted was my son to come live with me. I've already got him enrolled in school. I've had him enrolled in school. I gotta find him.
So kind of just walk us through that night.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom, I love you." Said goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed.
Guys went out. You went to dinner. You went to somewhere, I believe you said BJ's, where he had a, quote, colossal popcorn. Then you came home that night, and around 9 p.m., you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says, okay, he goes to his room. Is that correct?
He did.
Yes, ma'am.
He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing, When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed,
He did.
he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
So to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was, we stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
That night, I understand from previous statements you've made that you went to bed around midnight. Is that correct?
It is.
And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight or before or after?
No, ma'am. We went to bed around the same time because we were on the phone together.
And
He was not home.
please excuse any of my questions. I'm simply trying to find out more about that night. Do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
He wasn't actually in the home at all that weekend.
You were not home.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
So where were you, Mr. Proudfoot?
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
Question regarding your vehicles.
Signs of activity around Sebastian's home the night he disappeared. You see two light sources, which we've circled to help you follow. For point of reference, the security camera was pointed toward the back of Sebastian's home in a common area. In the video, you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then, subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later, and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it.
In another statement you gave, I understand that the video of the two flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now don't believe that two flashlights were observed around your home. Is that correct?
Yes.
You're very correct.
Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? And she goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do.
What time?
And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
What do you mean you can't find him? I said he's not in the house. Told him to go to bed. And he said, come out of his room where he was playing. And he said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. I love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
That point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, you know, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and
Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised that the 15-year-old male is not in the bed. Medium white male, 3 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 1 finger turning down. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. 2 male does have a form of autism.
Just help a brother out here.
This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. The doors are locked at this time.
Just warming up.
Central to 47-180, 412. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
And then this part isn't clear in my head. Where were you when you found out that Sebastian was missing? And who called you? What was that conversation like? And then sort of what happened next there?
Made it out to the parking garage. When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call and a text message. Christopher Proudfoot. Text message was a 911, so I called immediately, and he's the one that told me that Sebastian was missing.
And how much detail did he give you about what happened, and how would you describe that moment, that call?
Wasn't much detail except for Sebastian. Except for he said Katie woke up, Sebastian's missing. So I left the parking garage and headed straight to her house.
And how far are you from the house?
About 45 minutes from downtown Correction Center to their house in Henderson, Sumner County.
Okay, so now you respond. You're on that 45-minute ride there. Are you talking to anyone, or are you just pedal to the metal trying to get there?
Nah, I'm trying not to get a speeding ticket.
I get that, but I mean, are you just focused on getting there, or are you calling his mom to get more details?
No, I'm just focusing on traffic to get there as fast as possible.
So now when you got there, what happened at that moment? Like, did you have a conversation with his mom, and did you try to find out, like, well, what the situation was here?
When I got there, there was already law enforcement presence there. So I walked in and just started listening to what was going on.
And
I wanted to hear what was going on. So I got to hear her telling law enforcement asking questions, me listening to the questions and listening to the responses from his mother.
And what did you form any opinion based upon what you were hearing?
Knew my son was missing, and I just started watching body language, listening to words coming out. Did I form an opinion? Yeah, I formed an opinion. I am only human.
And what was that opinion?
That again, once again, my son, something has happened to my son under her watch. And once again, she wasn't being an adult. She wasn't being a parent taking care of an autistic child.
All right. So we have from before, the plan, which I call the plan, let's walk back through this, okay?
Were there any indication in your communications with Katie that like she didn't want custody, that she didn't want that responsibility, and there were problems, and she was running into some rough waters? Anything like
Most
that?
of my discussions were actually taken care with Chris.
Okay. So he's asked, was there any problems in the home? Was there anything going on? And his answer is, my discussions were taking care with Chris. We're going to walk through this. So you can take your I love Katie and Chris, or I love Seth, and throw it out the window tonight because we're talking about all of this. So he doesn't say anything about, oh my gosh, there was like, these problems, just that Chris was working on Katie to get Sebastian to come live with me. Was he rolling the shoulder? I didn't even notice. I don't know if it was a false set. I mean, the cops said that trail did not lead them to Sebastian. And then they said they had some scent trails away from the house. I don't know what that means. Trisha says, I love none of them. Find Sebastian. Right. Seth is my least suspect out of the three. I look at all three of them. Could that have been at Seth's request? I'm just saying, like, there were problems going on. Remember, that's what I'm going to have to add in here. Remember, Heather, the PI, said that this was a domino effect. And she thought that it started in December. Yes, he did say 6:20. And within minutes, they were there. Well, dispatch gets the call out at 6:39, right? Is that what you're pointing out, Potato? I think the scent to the retaining pond might be a red herring, and I also think evidence might have been in the dumpster. That's why they searched the landfill. Well, remember they did say that the garbage was heavier when they spoke to the garbage man. They've all changed the story, though. Sebastian's birthday is in December. He went to stay with Seth while Faith was visiting, right? Feisty says his last known track, according to Katie, was the curb. Why didn't the dogs track down the driveway? I don't know. Georgia says, in my opinion, they're all sus. I don't even have children. I'm an auntie. I would have more emotions than as an aunt than I have seen from any of them. Why isn't anyone bawling their eyes out? No way in hell. Right. Shell, both Chris and Seth said they're at work. There's no proof that they were at work, and why aren't they cleared if they were? Right. We're going in chronological order is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to start out from the beginning, like all of the things that were problems before, because we've got the divorce. Oh no, Chris said it was 6:20 that they called. But the dispatch audio starts at 6:39. I don't get why CP and Seth were working on Katie to have Sebastian move to Seth's. It seems to me it would be a discussion between Katie and Seth. That's her son. She knew him best. So what really gets me about that is that Seth says Chris was working on Katie. So that tells me she wasn't down with it. Elizabeth Smart was missing 9 months, hiding in plain sight. Her dad never backed down. Good point. Although there was a witness, right? Her sister saw the man come in and take her. There's no witness to Sebastian's disappearance. Yeah, I don't either anymore. It's potato. I don't put a lot of weight in dogs, to be honest. Too many times they don't get a scent when there should be one. That scared me. Yeah, she was not on board with it. And we also heard that Sebastian said that, you know, or it was like a punishment to go to his house. Salty Sluice investigates. Well, I'm glad you've got the whole thing wrapped up with a fucking bow. Maybe you should work for TBI. I mean, you don't have to sit here and gaslight us, me, and say it's not rocket science. Ooh, Chapped Ass says, does anyone else think he might have left by bicycle or scooter or skateboard? We never heard if he had any of those items. Why did both Seth Rogers and Chris Proudfoot go into work at least an hour early that night and that morning, allegedly? Sus. Right, especially on a Monday. I didn't say it meant someone didn't take Sebastian. I'm just comparing the differences. They knew she was taken by somebody. I don't know anything about a party in December, to be honest. You don't know what I was referring to, lady? Oh, no. Hey, Mark Klein. Mark Klein says, I have a feeling he's okay. Katie didn't want him with Seth for a reason, and the Tennessee detectives need a different position. Can't break down Katie. Wow, really? You think she's got him stashed away and neither one of these guys knows it? Do you guys remember where it was discussed about the pull-ups and all that crap? You know what? I'm actually trying to stick with the news the most I can. We don't know that he wasn't. Sleuths. All right. If you guys can think of any specific interviews, put them in the chat so I can Oh, I didn't know that was in December, Trisha. I thought that was more recent. A scam, Sherry. Well, thank you, Linda. If you guys think of any specific interviews of anything I'm missing so I can pull it and add to this, let me know which one's in chat.
And Sebastian was supposed to come live with me. Chris was working on Katie, on getting her to agree to it. And all I wanted was my son to come live with me. I've already got him enrolled in school. I've had him enrolled in school. I gotta find him.
So kind of just walk us through that night.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed,
he did.
He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Said goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed.
Guys went out. You went to dinner. You went to somewhere, I believe you said BJ's, where he had a, quote, colossal popcorn. Then you came home that night, and around 9 p.m., you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says, okay, he goes to his room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
So to make something very crystal clear, so that way
Okay.
there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or
The mom.
9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, "Hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed." Now, mind you, that was, we stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, "Hey, you need to wake up."
While she was on the couch, like he is specific, she was on the couch. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it. I don't know. The hands video, I forgot. Oh, yeah. Peter Hyatt was good too. But does Pascal still have all these up? I haven't seen all of these interviews. But what I want to do, you guys, is I want to piece together every single statement in order. 'Tis me. What's stupid? The fact that you're here and you're saying it's stupid? Mr. E's Crime Cast. Jay, I'm late. Do you have the weird hand video? I think it's on YouTube. Do you guys want to watch the hand interview? Let me see. Yes, we've watched that one. I'd like to know what was he playing? He was in his room playing, probably games, right? Oh, his are all up? Okay. Ooh, did you guys hear that? Why did she just say it again that he went to bed when she said to? Remember the list? The links are all there. I think I have your list saved, right? Sebastian Rogers, parents interviews, full playlist from Potato. Okay, so we have one from Pascal. Where is, oh wow, there's a lot here, Potato. 30 videos. Okay. Hand interview. Where are you? Do you know the one I haven't seen either is Dolly? I haven't watched that one. The hand interview is not in here, though. Justin on TikTok has some as well. Remember when Seth went on Peter Hyatt and he just got up there and sat? Navestity? Yeah, there's two Duchess. If he hit his head while in the room, does his disorder cause him to have seizures? Not that we know of. Seth was acting weird on Dolly's. Oh, the hand interviews on Facebook. The hand interview. I can't. Okay, I'm going to go to Facebook and find the one with the hands. Mr. E says the hand interview is hard to find. We'll try to find it right now. I don't know where that sheet is, Potato. What's up, grannies? Here's the hand interview with Caitlin Miller. Okay, we're going to watch the hand interview now. Oh, it's so bizarre. No one ever shows the one on Seth Novisty. I'll look that up later. Novice. Is that how you spell it? I have the hand one. It's Thank You Potato. It's on Facebook. It's right here. Here's your hand. Hands. Show me your hands. Okay. She weirdly rubs his arm. It is a very bizarre. It had to be very bizarre for the camera, like the interviewer. I guess I'm going to zoom in on the freaking hands. Smoke them if you got them. This is the hand interview. Chris and Katie Proudfoot. This is from, what's the date on this? March 7th. It says, today I sat down with Sebastian Rogers' mother and stepfather about the current investigation after 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers has been missing for 11 days. Katie and Chris Proudfoot did not want to show their faces because they say they were too emotional. Earlier this week, I interviewed Sebastian's biological father, Seth Rogers. Okay, so here we go.
On file, just both your first and last names and spelling.
Katie Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, Proudfoot.
Chris, Chris, last name's Proudfoot, Proudfoot.
So, I mean, first, just as parents, tell me what the last now over a week has been like for you two.
Horrible beyond words. This was an experience that I would have never dreamed would come. Honestly, I can't put words to how hard this has been and how much it hurts not knowing where my son is, where he's at, if he's okay. Just
no ring.
Horrible is the best thing I can say.
Mm-mm.
What about for you?
It's rough. I mean, we were on day 11, no answers. And the horrible things that people say just keep rolling in, regardless of taking time to consider the facts and, assumptions is what they're going off of. But, I don't know, for us we sit here and we wait, and hopefully we'll get an answer, or hopefully he walks through our door, which would be amazing.
I was going to say, how badly do you both want Sebastian to just walk through that front door to get that call?
I'd give anything. In a heartbeat, I would give anything.
It's not measured.
Okay, what do you think about how she says that? She sounds like serious, like I would give anything. In a heartbeat, I would give anything. She says it's horrible. This is absolutely horrible. He says it's rough. It's rough.
Badly do you both want Sebastian to just walk through that front door to get that call?
I'd give anything. In a heartbeat, I would give anything.
It's not measurable. It's
not measurable.
There's no measurable. Anybody says all it is. You've never sat in these shoes. You've never been in this situation. And I don't ever wish for people to be in this situation.
And what's Sebastian like? What's his personality like? What does he love to do?
He, for the most part, is happy.
For the most part, is happy. I wish that they would have or could have asked, what makes him unhappy? You know, you say for the most part he's happy. At what times is he unhappy? Is it when he goes to his dad's? Is it when he has to go to bed? You know, what are his unhappy moments? Because that's not something I would have ever answered when my kids were that age. Like, oh, he's good, you know, he's a good kid. He has his moments, but for the most part, he's a good kid. I mean, maybe that's the same way. But I also wouldn't. That would be when he's like not missing. Do you know what I'm saying? That would be when he's still around. But when he's gone, I'd be like, oh my God. You know, I mean, I'd be saying everything, boasting in case he heard it and make him come home.
Likes to laugh and joke and tell you all about everything and then some. He loves games. He loves video games. He loves to play with his Legos. Even building things with me. We build little projects here and there, but he's always a character.
Are there any like weird tendencies that he has that might be able to help people find him in this search?
I don't know how helpful to finding him, but he fidgets constantly. He loves shiny pennies, paper clips. He's always like, whenever we go to the grocery store, he always looks on the ground and looks under the register counter, and he's always looking for shiny pennies everywhere. Paper clips. He loves to bend them out of shape and play with them, fidget with them. He loves playgrounds. I mean, we've said it before, he likes fishing and things like that, but...
cats. Boy loves cats.
He does. He loves cats. It's his favorite animal.
Jackie.
I don't know. He's a good kid.
There are no leads, nothing caught on
See, that's what I would have said. He's a good kid.
video. Your son has been missing for 11 days now. How does that make you feel as parents?
I mean, I don't have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I mean, every day is harder than the last. I mean, we're out, we're looking.
Okay, so mind you, the reporter said that they didn't want to be on camera because they were too emotional. That's why they weren't on camera. But, I mean, they don't sound like they're crying or... I mean, they haven't moved hands, and you know what that tells me? There was not one tear throughout this whole interview. Because don't you need your hands to wipe your tears? If you're talking about your son, this is the first damn interview they did, I think. Wasn't it? First one on camera. You guys are saying it feels scripted. Pennies and paper clips, that's all she could come up with. You got him dogs, or was that for you? Yeah, how many dogs have they had? He loves cats, and Chris took him away. She sounds weird. Loves cats, but Katie had to get rid of them to move in with you. That's so true. Yeah, they did not have to move their hands like to wipe any tears at all. It does. It reminds me of that too. Of Letitia when she turned her head. Tweedledee says the reporter ain't buying it, Jay. Look at her. Georgia says, I'm sick and tired of these idiots. They're guilty. I can name 20 things about Sebastian just from seeing his pictures. Niece, that's a really good point. Oh, this was after we were getting backlash for the first one where they were sitting together. But yeah, they never had to move their hands. Let's keep watching. Let's see. We're almost 5 minutes in. They were too emotional to be on camera, remember.
We're trying to make sure that everyone stays looking and doesn't let his face fall to the bottom of a feed or
his face fall to the bottom of a feed. Ooh, I don't like that.
Flung.
She's probably exhausted. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's a weird thing to say, though. His feed.
his face fall to the bottom of a feed or get covered by some other nonsense. I mean, we just want our boy home.
When you walked in Monday morning,
his face to go to the bottom of a feed or to be covered by some nonsense. Now, mind you, this is March 7th. YouTube had not picked up this case yet. Why would she say that? Let's listen to this again.
I mean, I don't have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. I mean, every day is harder than the last. I mean, we're out, we're looking, we're trying to make sure that everyone stays looking and doesn't let his face fall to the bottom of a feed or get covered by some other nonsense. I mean, we just want our boy home.
when you walked in Monday morning and didn't see Sebastian in his room, what was your gut reaction?
My very first reaction was, oh, he got up and got breakfast. But when I realized he actually wasn't in the house, I've never experienced sheer panic in the way that I did. And basically for every minute since that, not knowing where your child is a pain that I've never known pain like this before.
And walk me through the events that happened, from Sunday leading up to Monday when you didn't see him that morning.
Sunday, we were out and about. We had a really good day. We were out doing our thing, running around. We had dinner that evening, and when we came home, we had a pretty good evening together as well. He was playing right up until bedtime, and then some. I let him stay up a little late.
He was playing until bedtime. I let him stay up a little late.
And when I told him to go to bed, he's like, I love you, Mom. I love you, puppies. And he went to bed.
He did.
And I went to bed around midnight. Everything seemed fine. And when I went to wake him up for school, that's when I couldn't find him. He wasn't in his room, and he wasn't in the house. And that's when I panicked.
And when you panicked, what'd you do?
First thing I did was call my husband, and I said, he's not here. My husband said, what do you mean he's not here? I said, he's not in the house. And he said, immediately just started, did you check here? Did you check there? Did you look here? And I ran through the house, and at that point I was hysterical, for lack of a word. And we three-wayed the police. Shh. And
ooh, the Morkies don't like Chris. I can tell you that right now. Let's go back to this part, okay?
Check there. Did you look here? And I ran through the house, and at that point I was hysterical, for lack of a word. And we three-wayed the police, and I'm within minutes they were here. I couldn't tell you exactly how long. I know it was fast. And we haven't found him.
When I got the phone call that he was missing, like she said, we asked questions like, where's he at? Check this, check that. And then we called the sheriff's department. And I called the sheriff's department. I stayed on the phone pretty much most of the time. And then while I was at work, I asked for a relief, got a relief, got in my truck from Memphis and made my way to Nashville.
And that was, I guess, Monday?
The morning that he was missing, yes.
Okay. And so what was your
Made my way to Nashville, he said.
reaction when you got that call from your wife that Sebastian was missing?
Initially, I was like, oh, he's goofing around again. Here we go. He's like hiding. And then when we talked about the places to check and he's not there, I was like, okay, stop. Instantly.
I guess Monday?
Call the police. Instantly. I'm a black and white kind of guy.
And to your knowledge, he didn't take shoes with him, right? He locked the door on his way out. Or I guess, what are some of the things that you think he did as he left?
We checked for all of his shoes and none of them are missing. The door was locked.
And was there some discrepancy as to what he was wearing when he went to bed, or what was he last seen wearing? What was he wearing to bed that night?
When he went to bed, he was wearing black sweatpants with white stripes down the side, and he had on a black long sleeve black shirt with a print on the front. I'm pretty sure it was one of his
like Star Wars or Halloween or
even Minecraft.
Yeah,
those are the three main things.
That's the three things that majority is on his clothes.
Yeah.
Boy, he has his flavors.
She's like,
and obviously you guys are going through the unimaginable, and then, getting a lot of like the kickback that you've seen on social media. I mean, how much worse has that made it for you two to go through something like this?
Honestly, we stopped looking at it. There's a lot of terrible people in this world, and I don't want to waste energy on any of that. I want the focus on finding our son. The facts are the facts. I mean, the police know the facts, and all I ask of anyone is, if they're able and willing, is to help find him, help spread his flyer, help look for him, call in if you know anything or see anything. But we just ask that people focus on finding Sebastian.
And he's never done anything like that before, right? Just kind of walked out of the house.
He's not a runner. This is not normal for him to run away. He's not a runner.
And any places, I guess, I know you guys have been told to stay in the house, right? Just in case he comes home.
We are doing what we've been asked to do by the law enforcement agencies and everybody involved. I am not going to divulge anything more than that.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to ask, I guess, next is, if you were to go out and search right now, if people want to help search, what types of places would you guys look at that he could maybe be at?
Anywhere and everywhere. At this point,
It's been 11 days. He could be anywhere.
So they're asked, where would you search? He said anywhere and everywhere. That's pretty broad.
I don't know.
Yeah, they've searched the woods, they've searched parks, they've searched creeks, they've searched. At this point, it anything and everything.
Anywhere that he
please
could
search.
be staying out of the weather or getting food or, I mean, honestly, at this point, he could genuinely be anywhere.
How hopeful are you two that he will come home?
I will never give up hope on finding my child.
Optimism is at its highest, regardless.
Our son is out there. We're going to find him.
See, I don't know if she's duping us, but she sounds very serious to me. In that sentence and in the beginning, she sounded very serious. She's painting the picture of being a good mom with a happy child. That's what Feisty Nana thinks. Left his phone. And Seth said it was plugged in the kitchen on the counter. Was his phone taken away? Because we found out, like Madeline Soto, she had to earn her phone. So was Sebastian's phone taken away for something at that time? So yeah, them not talking in public, says Potato, about Sebastian for a whole week after he disappeared is the biggest red flag there could be. And then talking with their hands in view only. And she's already talking about him going to the bottom of a feed, but they haven't really done like any kind of campaign to find him. So why was she worried about him falling to the bottom of a feed or getting, quote, covered by nonsense when it really wasn't being covered? I think they were getting scrutiny because they weren't speaking out. Oh my God, Mark Klein, I can't.
And now just, I mean, publicly, like obviously police are now investigating a landfill. People are speaking out about that. What are your thoughts about that?
Everybody has an opinion and their assumptions, and they are entitled to those. But as I've stated before, all we've asked people to do is to look at the facts, not what everybody's putting out there. If they have questions, call the law enforcement agencies, and they'll give you whatever they can give you. But the assumptions are just that. They are an assumption, your opinions. We pray for everybody, for hopefully this never happens to you. And if it ever does, then you'll understand. But I pray it doesn't.
And they're doing their job. They're looking everywhere they can I mean, their goal is the same. We just want to find him.
If you could say something to Sebastian, if he's listening right now, what would you say to him?
I would say that we love you and we miss you and we want you to come home. And just know that we all care about you so much.
You're not in trouble. That door's unlocked and waiting for you to come home. Your puppies miss you. Your family misses you.
You're not in trouble. That door's unlocked. I think they locked him out, y'all. Why would he say that? That door's unlocked and waiting for you to come in it. I think if he ran away, there would have been a scent trail. Either from, to the road where he got in like a car. If he's going to run away, I don't think he's going to have someone meet him at the pond. I don't know. Maybe he did. Kathleen, no one said Seth took his kid. Why are you saying that? No one said he did. Why are you saying he didn't? That makes me think it's him. Stop doing that. We're not even talking about Seth. Why are you saying he didn't do it? What interview is it when Chris Proudfoot says, I know he left off that front door or porch? This is what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. So I guess I'm just going to have to watch them all. No, Siobhan, you're not booted at all. This is the second channel, remember? It does sound like they would lock him out. I agree. Let's see here. Oh, shit. We have all the interviews. Wow. There's a lot of them. The length of video and everything. Okay, sweet. I guess we're going to have to just go through them and web sleuths. You want to watch together, Jody? Oh, on clues. I forgot about clues. There's a lot. All three parents have lied. Smiley's interview, too. Georgia says, oh, shut up, dude. Look at the facts. There are no facts, which is exactly what you want. What interview did he say that this would go down as a case to be studied? When the story first broke, said he was locked out. Who did? Why would he be in trouble? Yeah. It'd make more sense if we had been fighting. Mother McReady, whatever they're saying, there's no way I can negate ruckus and flashlights or cell phones and vehicle that night. No way. I agree. That was on the panel with CP Heather and Seth pops on and they go at each other web sleuths. Yeah, they did say that, Joe. What gets me is every time they did an interview in the beginning, they never said Sebastian's name, and it was, you're not in trouble, come home. Yeah, the pleading is not even seem like the right verbiage. Good night, Siobhan. Potato says, every theory I go down comes to a dead end. It's like trying to figure out John Benet Ramsey again. Speaking of John Benet Ramsey, would you guys like to have a discussion with a couple of guys who have researched this case and done documentaries on John Benet? I think that'd be interesting. Clues or Duchess? See, I forgot about Clues too. The Duchess interview, he said that. Oh yeah, no malice. That's a lot of things. You know, we should go through the 50 red flags. That's an old one. Do you guys want to watch the red flag one? Because when I first started this case, I was like all over the Proudfoots. Not, I mean, I really was. I thought that that he was sus. That Chris was really sus. I didn't really think much of Seth until later on, when he started to really push himself into the spotlight. Let's go over the 50 red flags, at least what we thought were 50 red flags then. Maybe we don't think these are red flags anymore. Let's see. It'll be interesting to see. Was he in the shower? I don't know if I can handle their interviews much longer. You know, when you got up, did you think, oh, he's just in the shower? This lady.
Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now? I just want my baby to be okay. I don't know where he's at.
Yes, Sebastian
Yeah,
Rogers.
I have watched
So
some
his
of that stuff.
stepdad. Oh, wait. Is this not the right one? Was on this podcast. That was our first discussion about him. Hold on. That's our first discussion about him. That's not the 50 red
Can
flags
you walk
video.
us through
Hold
what
on.
you're thinking right now? I just want my baby to be okay.
That's me and Potato talking. Here's the 50 red flags. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong one.
When I told him to go to bed.
You did?
He did.
All right, I found it. That one would probably be a good watch, though, too. Because we had just started talking about it. I have the Dolly one. Angie B gave me the Dolly one. We have them all. We have all the links. Potato has them. Unless there's any you're missing in that list, Potato. Like clues. I don't know what's all on there, but seems like you have a lot on there. That's when you learned of this case and you were so pissed. I know that'd be a good listen, wouldn't it? Yvonne, what do you got in your cup? Just a lot of happiness, Yvonne. I had a good weekend. I'm here with you. And all is good.
When I told him to go to bed.
And he did.
He did. I love you so much. And we want you to come home. And you're not in trouble. He said, good night, Mom. I love you. Or, I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
Hey guys, welcome back to J is for Justice. In this video, we are going to dissect the Proudfoot's pleas for their boy, Sebastian back. What do you guys think about that? Your tippy cup?
When I came in the picture, I mean, his tantrums were pretty bad. I mean, to the point, I mean, so I'm not dragging Seth, his mom, his sister, my wife. I'm not dragging people through the mud. So what is in the past is the past, and that really needs to die. And I'm saying that for everybody to hear, to include all parties involved with this situation.
JLR back to him again, and I hate to keep bringing him up because you're on here, and I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you, and I want to.
That's fine.
Not JLR, but what I want to say is one other thing you have to take in consideration: him going to all these places, not just to help Sebastian, but all these other people. That's not free. You've got to remember that that's not free. So I'm just saying.
Right, but if I'm on his show, we're talking about my son's case.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. There is a situation of my son, not everybody else's. You know, and I know he's doing his thing, and I appreciate it. What I don't appreciate is some of the stuff he does put out there that he abs. When I've asked the guy, I said, do you have proof? Do you have physical evidence that I am anything what you say?
Right.
And he doesn't. So then keep my name out of your mouth.
Right.
It's real simple.
I can't. Keep my name out of your mouth.
Just asking little simple questions, or whatever about your work and stuff. Like, did you talk to Sebastian, and stuff like that. But basically, I know it's a 3.5 hour drive. You was at work. Is there a reason that? Okay, so are you working now, or are you just taking off, or anything like that, like for a certain amount of time?
So is this to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you asking me that, or is one of your people?
No, I'm asking you that. I just wondered. Okay. Like, if you, I was just wondering, like, if you, like, are you, in fact, I'll turn my chat off for just a minute so I don't get preoccupied.
Don't turn your chat off. Leave it on. It's fine.
Okay.
That way you can get all these questions coming in, because like I said, I told you, I gave you my word, I'd come on your show, I would answer questions. People ask the questions, but keep in mind, like I told y'all from the very beginning, I'm brash, I'm direct, but I'm respectful, and I ask for the same in everybody else.
Yeah, and I told them a while ago, just please be respectful, because I wasn't expecting this. Like, please be respectful, y'all, because...
So one thing right now, I'm going to tell you right now, really irks me with some of these folks that want to follow these YouTube, and I'm very honest about this. Somebody says I won't talk to men. Not that I don't want to talk. Right. It's not that I don't want to talk to men. I have talked to more law enforcement men agencies in the past 24 days than I've probably ever talked to in my entire life. Same thing goes for women. So no, I don't have a problem talking to a man or talking to a woman. I appreciate everybody's assumptions or concerns, innuendos, whatever they want to be. But at the same time, I vet who I talk to.
Blackhawk says CPS makes a visit to the home in January. Then Chris stays away, works out of town for the whole next month. Where do we have that for a fact? Where is the CPS visit spoken about? Because I need to pinpoint this. And I think that's why they did all these effed up interviews on all these channels. He's slapping his hands, I think. I don't know.
I'm not just going to open up and talk to anybody. And I will put this out there. JLR, everybody wants me to talk to this guy.
Give him a chance. That's just my honest opinion.
Right. Do you know why people don't want to give this man a chance?
Well, go ahead and tell me. I mean, I want your opinion.
So I'm going to tell you my personal opinion.
Okay.
Okay, this is my personal opinion. This is nobody else's, not my wife's, not anybody else's. My personal opinion.
Okay.
So I did my due diligence, and I read up on Jonathan Lee Rich. Excuse me. I read up on him. Not necessarily the best character in the world. When you start reading, and the first thing comes up, everything that you can find on this individual. Now, I don't know him, Adam from Eve. I really don't. He don't know me, Adam from Eve. But when he opens his mouth and goes out there and starts spreading lies, and yes, lies, because unless you got hardcore evidence that I'm an abusive husband, abusive father, I've got a restraining order against me, unless you got proof, don't open your mouth, because it's real simple. I don't have any of that. Good luck finding it. I've never lied to y'all. I've been open and honest. People don't like my answers, so people want to come back with their own assumptions. And I'm so sorry that I can't open up and give you every little piece of evidence and every little detail that we know. I am terribly sorry. It sucks, because when it does and it can come out, my only question to everybody else is, when are you going to start issuing public apologies?
Letitia Stout right here. Evidence. Stephen Crabtree gives me weird vibes. I think he's just a local who got pulled in. Erica says that Justin FOIA requested the log, and it says the days they went to the home, and that's it. Last date was January 29th. Are we sure that that's public info? Anything to do with CPS visits? I've never heard of anybody being able to get a log of where they've been. I've never heard that. Has anyone else heard that before? Because I don't think you can access anything that has to do with minors publicly. I think you have to have an interest in the case. Yeah, they're very worried. He's always worried about perception. Mm-hmm. But that could just be his personality. He could be worried about perception in his everyday life. Yeah, I didn't think that that would be legal or obtainable. Because with all of the cases we've dealt with, I've never heard of anyone getting any logs of where social workers go to check on children. So if a creator told you that, I think that creator might be lying. And I hate to say that because that's just to tell you anything about CPS. A, you don't talk about that shit. B, if you do have it, you know what I mean? And B, I don't think that CPS visits, even logs, are public. Evidence, Roberta. Was that really super loud? No. No, you can't just get reports from CPS on someone else's kid. You can't. Pervy and HIPAA, you just can't. Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
That's not to you. That is to everybody that wants to come out and badmouth people that don't understand and don't have a clue what's going on.
When I was talking to Chris earlier, and him and I were messaging, and I asked him about DCS, and he said the only case that DCS has open is because Sebastian ran away.
Okay, sorry about that.
Hey, Chris, Josh was going to
Yes,
call
ma'am.
me, and I accidentally punched a 3 instead of a 2 or whatever. He jumped up here on
That's
panel,
fine.
and he wanted to ask you something, actually. Sorry.
Fire away, man.
Well, so you and I we had messaged earlier on Facebook, and I had asked you about DCS, and you said that there were no other interactions with CPS or DCS except for Sebastian going missing, which I then told you, but that's not mandatory necessarily unless CPS was already involved. So
Now,
you're not
hold on.
really being honest.
Wait a minute. You asked me, because I'll read the messages to everybody in God and Country. You asked me if there was an active
God and
CPS
Country.
case on Sebastian. That's what you asked. And I told you, yes, there was. Because the sheriff's department told us that they had to report it because he was missing. That's what you asked. Now, you also started to ask if there was another case. And there was no other case that I know of that's active. That's what you asked.
Crickets.
Yeah, I'm here.
So, like I said, sir, I'm brash, I'm to the point, be respectful.
Can you hear
And
me?
I will tell you, and I'll be honest, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I got nothing to hide.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, he said, okay. Can you hear him, Josh?
I can hear him, yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said, well, in the messages that I asked that it was pertaining to Sebastian's school, right? Like you just said. And you said, no, other than him going missing, no CPS cases.
£500.
I don't know. I can't hear. Maybe that.
He didn't say anything.
Be crystal clear.
We're only on number 5.
Like I said, there's information that we still, even as of today, we had a meeting with law enforcement. And we've asked them verbatim, like everything we've been saying, is there anything you want us to change? Is there anything new that we can put out? And honestly, they said exactly what y'all been putting out, the way you've been putting out is exactly what you need to do. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. You know, and trust me, it kills us because there's so there's facts that we could put out there and it would put a lot of things to rest, but we can't because of, they say it can potentially cause issues to the investigation.
Does it really sound to you like he wants to put something out there? He's like, we can't, like he wants to say something.
Information that we still, even as of today, we had a meeting with law enforcement, and we've asked them verbatim, like, everything we've been saying, is there anything you want us to change? Is there anything new that we can put out? And honestly, they said exactly what y'all been putting out, the way you've been putting out is exactly what you need to do. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. You know, and trust me, it kills us because there's so... there's facts that we could put out there and it would put a lot of things to rest. But we can't because of... they say it can potentially cause issues to the investigation.
What do you think? He's been told something and he can't say it. Truth, not feelings, and Chris Proudfoot are not the same person. Why are they so dead set that he ran off? Asked Barb. I don't know. Okay, so they were talking. Law enforcement was talking to Chris and Katie, but wouldn't talk to Seth at this time. I don't believe anything he says either, but when he accentuates like that, you think he's lying?
Like I said, there's information that we still, even as of today, we had a meeting with law enforcement, and we've asked them verbatim, like, everything we've been saying, is there anything you want us to change? Is there anything new that we can put out? And honestly, they said exactly what y'all been putting out, the way you've been putting out is exactly what you need to do. Don't add to it. Don't take away from it. You know, and trust me, it kills us because there's so... there's facts that we can put out there and it would put a lot of things to rest. But we can't because of... they say it can potentially cause issues to the investigation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sebastian does not have a history of running. I mean, the young man doesn't go outside very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He is very to himself, so to speak. Between the hours of 12 and 6, he has basically vanished.
Between 12 and 6.
Okay.
There's actually a piece of... so to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So then Mom does go to bed and wakes up early in the morning to go wake her son up, get him ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house. Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him.
I
was like, do what? She goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
Okay, so there you go, Potato. He said that they called it around 6:20, give or take. And then we have the dispatch starting at 6:39. He said within 10 minutes. They were dispatched to the location.
Is there a reason that Chris hasn't seen him since? I know it had to do with the work, but why did he say he hadn't seen Sebastian since the 1st of February?
Because that's the truth. He hadn't seen him since the beginning of February.
I mean, is there a reason for that?
He's working 3.5 hours away. He don't come home after work.
So was he, I'm just wondering, was he gone for 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks or something like that?
He'd been gone since the beginning of February was the last time he was actually home. Christopher was actually home. And yes, he did see Sebastian when he come home.
Okay.
It's, it's just part of it when you work away, you see each other when you can, but he doesn't, it's a lot to travel back and forth all the time. Like, that's not a trip that you can make, to and from every day by any means.
Oh, I get that. That's not something you want to do every day. That would take up your whole time. But did he never come home on the weekends, like when you had Sebastian or anything like that?
Well, yeah, that's why he saw him in the beginning of February, but it wasn't every weekend.
Okay.
Because he works on weekends too a lot, so he can't just come home every weekend. But when he can, he does. He comes home and sees him. Yeah. They have a pretty good relationship.
Did he talk on the phone with Sebastian while he was at work?
He does. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he loves playgrounds. I mean, he loves to play. I'll give him that.
I'll give him that.
Friends wise,
He wants friends.
Sebastian, his idea of his friend is right now is what he has 2 kids that he talks to at school.
Oh, this pissed me off. I remember this. He wants friends.
I mean, he loves. Yeah, he loves playgrounds. I mean, he loves to play. I'll give him that. Friends wise,
He wants friends.
Sebastian, his idea of his friend is right now is what he has 2 kids that he talks to at school, but he is extremely socially awkward, and so it's very difficult for him to make friends, which has been this boy's only lifelong dream. I mean, he Christmas. What do you want for Christmas? I want friends. Birthday. I want friends. Anything that he could do to get a friend, he would love to do it, which is potentially dangerous because that could open up doors if for somebody to say, "Hey, I'll be your friend," and potentially cause harm. Green. It's got the goofiest and quirky smile in the world. I don't think anybody could mimic it. To be honest with you,
He looks like he's such a sweet young man. He
loves to dance. That boy he'll dance his tail off. That's for
hey,
sure.
that's
He's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now that but here's the distinction. He is not a child that likes to get dirty. He can't stand his hands dirty. He can't stand bugs. He is fearful of flies and things. So if he swims, he is a pool kid. He's not I'm a river and a stream kind of kid. He is swimming pool bound.
Okay, which one? Which one, Granny? Which one's a clue? She says there's a clue. Because I'm a little bit ahead of you guys. Bella's being camera shy. She hasn't been on doggy cam for a while. Wind tube. Sorry, this red flag stuff is complete nonsense. Okay, well, this was made. We're reviewing older stuff. This video was made March 22nd, 2024. So this isn't something new that I just made tonight. All right. This is from March. So if you don't want to review old stuff, you're probably going to be annoyed. So just kick back, enjoy the puppy love, and appreciate that I'm sitting in my computer chair and you can lay down and watch and listen and discuss and get your opinion out there. Oh, the saying, hey, I'll be your friend. Ooh, yeah, that is. Mm. Good catch. Let's rewind that part.
Wants friends.
Sebastian, his idea of his friend is right now is what he has two kids that he talks to at school, but he is extremely socially awkward. And so it's very difficult for him to make friends, which has been this boy's only lifelong dream. I mean, he Christmas, what do you want for Christmas? I want friends. Birthday, I want friends. Anything that he could do to get a friend, he would love to do it, which is potentially dangerous because that could open up doors if for somebody to say, "Hey, I'll be your friend," and potentially cause harm.
I think he's trying to put something out there to deflect. Okay, we have thunder and beeping going on outside, so if I suddenly disappear, it's because maybe I lost power. Are we still live? Katie sounds heartbroken about the friends situation. Aw, your dog is half husky and half beagle. She looks identical to Bella. Her name is Loodle. I'd love to see a picture of her. If you could email me. Well, they told me that Bella is they called her a Goberian, which is golden and husky, but she's so small. Because Summer's a golden and husky. I saw her parents and she's huge. Bella is so small. I don't think she's golden and husky. Painting a narrative, yes. Okay, thank you. I am still live. There's just a lot of thunder. We've had a lot of thunder today. And you see her better now. If I stop petting her, she'll jump down. So let's keep going. A spaceship.
Green. It's got the goofiest and quirky smile in the world. I don't think anybody could mimic it. To be honest with you,
He looks like he's such a sweet young man. He
What kind of beeping? I don't know. It was like someone's car alarm or something. Like the thunder made it go off. It was spooky.
loves to dance. That boy he'll dance his tail off. That's
hey,
for sure.
that's
He's a fish in the water. I'm gonna tell you right now that but here's the distinction. He is not a child that likes to get dirty. He can't stand his hands dirty. He can't stand bugs. He is fearful of flies and things. So if he swims, he is a pool kid. He's not I'm a river and a stream kind of kid. He is swimming pool bound. We as parents know how social media can be,
right.
and seeing how kids can be easily manipulated.
Oh. Granny, that goes along with your clue. We know how social media can be and how kids can be easily manipulated. Gypsy, stay safe. That's a lot of wind. That's high winds, man. Don't blow away.
Direction, thank you. And says something about exit 5. Are you guys close to exit 5?
No, well, that depends. You can access off of what they call New Shackle Island Road, which I believe is exit 6.
Yes, I see. Thank you, Mrs. Clem.
Yeah, I believe it's exit.
Does he have a lot of energy? Does he like to go on long walks and things like that?
Especially office medicine.
Especially office medicine.
Miranda said outside his home, where's his most comfortable environment? Does he have a place like that?
His house.
Ooh, his house. And then he laughs. That's really gross considering that he's missing. Ooh, I don't like that at all.
His most comfortable environment. Does he have a place like that?
His house.
This is over. However it ends, we have to live this life, not everybody else.
Quite frankly, Sebastian's going to find out what everybody's been saying about his parents, and I can't even imagine how distraught he's going to be, but we have to find him. I want to just side note, he's not clapping, y'all.
He's not what?
People keep saying that he's clapping. He's not clapping. That's just background noise.
Oh, I don't hear any. Yeah, y'all.
Some people have heard they're clapping, and that's fine. Yes, I'm currently working.
Yeah, y'all.
Now, where understand, people, where I work is really nobody's business. And I would hope you would respect that, because I'm not this criminal. I'm not this monster that everybody wants to believe.
I'm not this criminal. I'm not this monster that everybody wants to believe. Did anybody think he was a criminal on March 20 or whatever in the beginning of March? He was clapping. Yeah, we heard it. But what does he mean? I'm not a criminal.
Sunday morning, we got up and I made a fun breakfast for us. Spaghetti pancakes. Google it, y'all. We FaceTime family while we were eating so he could brag, because that's something he likes to do.
There's Tom, too. Do me a favor. I got to drop out of this. I got to make a phone call real quick, and I will be back. This is one call. I don't care. I don't miss this phone call because it's my daughter.
No, you go ahead.
Come back and hang tight. Give me about 5-10 minutes. I'll be right back.
You're fine. You're fine. We'll be here.
Is that
yeah.
good?
You're okay. Hold on.
Hello?
That's me. I'm gonna knock you off for a minute. You just come back when you're ready.
Every closet.
Within minutes they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go.
He did take medication nightly and daily.
Okay.
Just for HIPAA reasons, we will not disclose.
I understand.
What the medication is.
HIPAA.
I was just trying to.
Because no two kids are the same is why I'm asking.
That is you are nowhere far from the truth on that, because that is so correct. Sebastian is extremely high functioning. His weakness, he does not have a sense of personal space.
That he's scared of you. That he's scared of you, and that you're bullying him at home. And I don't like to ask these questions, but I feel like this needs to be addressed. Because
you know, anyone he could have contacted. Understand he was somewhat of a gamer, or what was he? There was a video game he loved, right?
Minecraft. He loves Minecraft.
Me too, Fiddle D.
The game that he has is not online. He has the Switch.
We don't, because of how social media can be, he doesn't have accessibility to communicate.
There we go again. Because we know how social media can be. He doesn't have a means to communicate.
And I don't wish you to ever know.
I would say it like this: everybody has an opinion, you know, and it's perfectly okay to have that opinion. But you're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different, wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts. I guarantee you he is loved. And trust me, the open arms are waiting for him to come home. From every parent to every...
See, that reminds me of you're not in trouble. The door's unlocked. Trust me. I guarantee you he is loved.
Every family members to probably everyone in the community. But there's no malice. That we just want our boy home. Bad. Badly. But I'm okay to address every bit of this.
Okay.
So, you mentioned Sebastian's afraid of me. Well, that is a loaded question because somebody who has released some information out there from another show, who I won't put his name out there, allowed somebody to say something. Now, mind you, when you have a teenage child or teenage children, all parents know this, your children are not going to like you because you're not there to be their best friend. You're there to be a parent. And as parents, you have rules they have to follow. If they don't, there's consequences. Sebastian will say one day he's upset and mad at me for something, and 20 minutes later will run up to me, throw his arms around me, cry, and say, "I'm sorry and I love you." So, you know, when you get in trouble, of course you don't like your parents. You know, he said the exact same things about his father, but that's when you set him down and say, "Look, bud, parents are parents, and we're going to have to." No, I've had a temporary protective order, and I had a no contact order placed against me in New Mexico with my ex-wife. Now, mind you, let me back up and I'll play the whole story for you. Me and my ex-wife, we actually lived here in Tennessee for a little bit. We had a daughter, and at the time, my daughter was only maybe 6 weeks old. An event took place while I was holding my daughter, and when that took place, I filed for an immediate protection order against her. We went to court. The court made their decisions. I gave my daughter back to her mother, and when she received her, she jumped in a truck and flew right back to New Mexico. Got to New Mexico within 2 days of being there. She turned around and filed the exact same thing against me in New Mexico.
The questions that I had up next was, have you both taken a polygraph test?
How come cold case Crystal looks like a young Smiley? Is that like Smiley's daughter or something? Doesn't she? She looks like a younger Smiley to me. Maybe I'm just losing it. I'm having a losing it kind of day, and Bella just got up and left me.
The results are passed.
The results are passed. What a fucking, you know, he's lying about that because he said this and then he goes on Nancy Grace and he's like, I have not.
To me in New Mexico.
The questions that I had up next was, have you both taken a polygraph test?
The results are passed.
results of the polygraph was that you passed. Is that both of you passed, or can you say?
Yes.
Okay. I think that was my question that was up next.
No, he lied to them. I don't think he lied to Aunt Nancy because he told Aunt Nancy no. Oh, thank you, Kels. Treats for Bella. Bella, you just got some treats from Kels. Yay! She says, thank you so much, Kels. Tina says, CP has always looked guilty. Doesn't mean he is, but the way he acts in his interview, he doesn't show concern or worries for Sebastian.
Was so you've both taken a polygraph test. That was some of the questions. I see a couple people asking that specifically. Did you take a polygraph test specifically? Chloe and Mo wanted to know specifically, could you elaborate? Did you take one and also pass?
I've got a question, and a lot of people.
Does he have a lot of energy? Does he like to go on long walks and things like that?
Especially off his medicine.
Oh, especially off his medicine.
Groceries away because we bought snacks because, you know, he's 15 and snacks.
Just help a brother out here.
About 9 o'clock.
Thanks, Christy.
Told him to go to bed. And he's come out of his room where he was playing and he said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
Snacks for Bella. Thank you, Myron.
No, first time.
He's not a child that wonders. He's not one that is
He doesn't have a history of being an eloper, which is common. And I have friends with children on the spectrum.
Was he going to say promiscuous? I think he struggles with wording. Pervy and all this shit. He was going to say promiscuous. Fight me that he wasn't. Listen.
He doesn't have a history of being an eloper.
I don't know if this dude just struggles with words or if he's just fucking pervy.
An eloper, which is common. And I have friends with children on the spectrum who do struggle with elopement with their children. But no, Sebastian, that's one thing, has always been a blessing. He's not been an eloper or a runner. His primary areas are like social and emotional dysregulation issues and things like that. But he's very smart. He's functional. Overall, he's a pretty happy kid.
Did I not go back far enough?
He's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones. He's angry that he's growing a mustache. But for the most part, he's a happy kid. And
a lot of separation there. I agree. A lot different than the other interviews we saw, right? And this is Olivia's.
Brother out here.
Thank you so much, Myron and Kels, for the snacks for Bella. Precocious could be Vivian.
about 9 o'clock, told him to go to bed. And he's come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning, and that's when he wasn't here.
No, first time.
He's not a child that wonders. He's not one that is
from like.
He doesn't have a history of being an eloper, which is common, and I have friends with children on the spectrum who do struggle with elopement with their children, but no, Sebastian, that's one thing, has always been a blessing. He's not been an eloper or a runner.
She kind of took over from him in this interview, which is the opposite of other ones where, you know, she kind of like started to laugh because she didn't know what to say, and he took up for her. In this one, she kind of takes over a little bit more.
His primary areas are like social and emotional dysregulation issues and things like that. But he's very smart. He's functional. Overall, he's a pretty happy kid. I mean, he's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones. He's angry that he's growing a mustache, but for the most part, he's a happy kid. And or
Sure. So there's a lot of speculations about that video that are floating on the internet. Okay, and that is exactly what it is. It's speculations. Now, what I can give you an official statement on is TBI Newslink has released a statement from law enforcement, between local law enforcement, state law enforcement, some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we would love it to be one, it's not.
He really does not want us to think that that is a damn flashlight video. Hold on. Thank you, Darlene, so much for your generous super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. It's good to see you, Darlene. As much as we would love it to be a flashlight, it's not. And then we have Seth saying it's a garbage truck. Unless, now, let's think about this. What if they only showed Seth the part where the garbage, oh no, he said he saw it in the day and night. That's right. That won't work. So we have Seth convinced it's a garbage truck. We've got Chris convincing not only Dum Dum Gray Hughes that it's not a garbage truck, or that it is a garbage truck, but it's over on the next road up a hill. But we have, Nick Barris saying they're lights that appear to be flashlights, and then the police won't say what it is. Doesn't matter what they told Seth. He said he saw the video and it's a garbage truck. He said he saw it in the day and the nighttime. So he could see all the points. Do you guys remember where he said that? That he could see all of the day and night. I don't remember what interview that was, but let's listen to him again be so convincing about these lights. Listen.
A statement from law enforcement, between local law enforcement, state law enforcement.
They didn't release a statement on that video, by the way. No, they did not. He lied.
Some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that...
Listen again. He says there was a statement. Okay, let's listen to the whole thing. He is lying about that. That video shakes them.
Sure. So there's a lot of speculations about that video that are floating on the internet. Okay, and that is exactly what it is. It's speculations. Now, what I can give you an official statement on is TBI Newslink has released a statement from law enforcement, between...
They never released any statements about that video. None.
You can't talk to a fucking log.
Look at him looking right at the camera and she's looking down. He's trying to sell you like a car right now.
Local law enforcement, state law enforcement,
some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we would love it to be one, it's not. I'm not going to go into details as far as where that video is shot from, but I can tell you, as the parents, we have seen the video firsthand from law enforcement. We know exactly where it was taken from.
So do we. So do we. Chris Blakely says, in the hands video, it's ironic that they tried to show us very little, but I see a woman clinging to her husband and willing to do anything to keep him. The ring, the rubbing, answering just how he wants. Good. That's a good point. They did. WinTube, they did. And if you go back to the video I started out with, Seth says, all my conversations were taking care with Chris, whatever the fuck wording that is.
Oh, God. That if you can see this or hear this, that we just want you home, baby, and we love you. And there ain't nothing gonna stop us from coming and getting you and bringing you home.
I can't speak for his father, but I'm pretty sure we all have the same opinion, that we love you, miss you, we want you home, and if you can, call us, get wherever you can, let us know, and we will come get you.
Call 911, run out into the street, go in public, anything.
It is amazing because in the past couple of weeks, you've got 2 cases. A 15-year-old that has vanished without a trace. You've got a 22-year-old, 6'4" or 7" college kid from Missouri who has vanished without a trace. Like that's a huge significance here. That it's like, wow, how?
I don't think Chris passed a polygraph. He told Nancy Grace he never took one. I did notice that. Hi, NFT. Good to see you. I'd love to hear answers on this. How many of you honestly have family members who would take over raising your child? A special needs child who would be homeschooling on top of the jail time? No one. No one. I don't think he's stashed away. That's not one of my theories. How does Sebastian even know their phone numbers? He wouldn't. If she says he wouldn't even know his way home, I don't know. Exactly. Crime Mr. E. Hello, allegedly, when Brittany J. How are you, Mrs. J? I think they all three, or at least CP and Seth, were supposed to be on the same page with whatever happened. I do too. I think that they had a plan before, and this is how it ended up for some reason that we don't know yet.
So
It's scary.
Yeah. And it's ongoing. It's every single day. People are people, and they have their opinions. Everybody is formulating their idea of what's going on and who's guilty and who's not guilty because they want to know, or they feel they need to know. There's a difference. Unfortunately, what I will tell you is that
when you're the family in this position and you're working with law enforcement and everything's going the way it goes, people automatically assume this parent or that parent. And in this situation, I can promise you, every single parent has been vetted. I can't go into details, but I can tell you we have been vetted and we have been cleared of all
wrongdoing.
Please. And keep in mind, there's 3 parents and there's thousands and millions of people out there that may have a question. We are trying to get to them, I promise you.
Miserable, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Think of it like this. You wake up every morning and your routine is what it is and you know it, right? Now wake up when this happens and you can't figure out what to do. You struggle every single day on trying to get out of
This weirded me out too. The crane.
the bed to deal and face everybody's negativity, you know, and you try to make it a positive thing.
Or the fact that my son's still not home.
You know, we have a bedroom that's empty that is never normally ever empty, except for when he's with his dad every other weekend. So now we have a child that's missing. So there's no words to describe it.
Regarding falling asleep during a polygraph, I would think if your son's missing and you have to take a polygraph, that the only reason you'd fall asleep is because you attempted to take medications so that you could pass it. I can't think of any other reason why you'd fall asleep. Because if you weren't honest about the medication you took and you're like nodding off, they're going to be like, no, we can't give this to you. Because the first thing they ask you is if you took medication. So if Seth was honest, it wouldn't have went past that first question and he wouldn't have fallen asleep. They wouldn't even have given it to his ass. So we've got him lying too.
Bing bong.
Think about it. The first question would be, have you taken any medications today? And if he said yes, I took fucking Valium or Xanax or something, they would have been like, we're done. So he never even got it. So he must have lied initially and then taken it and fallen the fuck asleep. Think about that. Bing bong.
Bing bong.
But not one autistic child in this world is like another one. What we can tell you is he's smart. He can be goofy. He kind of has issues with personal space. He hasn't mastered.
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
He can be aggressive if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a teenager.
He doesn't like punch and hit and throw, but he gets really like aggressive stanced or like clipped where he just won't talk to you, or if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah,
Why was the sheriff's office called and not 911?
So our house is not designated for city limits, which jurisdictions for police are inside city limits. The sheriff's department is what governs our area because we're outside of that. So if you call 911 and you're outside of those areas, it goes to a central point, but then they will turn around and ask your location, and then they redirect you to another dispatcher. If you know who the dispatch or who your law enforcement agency is that governs your area, I just call them straight.
I
There's no
just call
point
them
in wasting time
straight.
going from one to another to get to what I need when I know exactly who to call.
He's the smartest guy in the room, you know it?
Why was the sheriff's office called and not 911?
So our house is not designated for city limits,
Oh, this is a repeat.
which jurisdictions for police are inside city limits. The sheriff's department is what governs our area because we're outside of that. So if you call 911 and you're outside of those areas, it goes to a central point, but then they will turn around and ask your location, and then they redirect you to another dispatcher. If you know who the dispatch or who your law enforcement agency is that governs your area, I just call them straight. There's no point in wasting time going from one to another to get to what I need when I know exactly who to call.
You guys were on a three-way call because you were not. You were
That
you
is
were
so
coming
weird.
from
Three-way
out of town. Is that correct?
He is obnoxious.
We were on a three-way call.
Yeah, that law enforcement was called on a three-way call.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you all have camera footage in your home? I've heard people
Oh,
saying that
where's that
too.
one?
That is some information that we cannot divulge at this time due to the ongoing investigation.
Okay.
Thank you.
I wish we could, but unfortunately we can't.
I do have 4 or 5 more messages that just popped up that said they want to know that you definitely took a polygraph and passed because it got cut off by a different question and they feel like you did not answer that. So I'm just asking one more time. This is the last time, guys, I'm going to revisit this question.
Okay. For the record.
Mo, he said he passed it, according to Amy.
Well, hold on. Somebody asked the question, was a polygraph taken and has it been passed? Yes. I didn't specify who or when. But what I can tell you, everything has been vetted completely. Polygraphs have come back as passed. So I'm confused as in why they're all wondering if myself, my wife, and the biological father took one. When law enforcement agency has come out and told everybody, even in the TBI news link, if you guys hadn't read that, please go out and read that. That's got a lot of great information in it, especially it's probably the most up-to-date information. But they will even tell you, at this point in time, they have no reason to speculate foul play, anything on the parents. Everybody's been extremely cooperative of.
They did say that there's no sign of foul play and that the parents have been cooperative. So he is repeating verbatim what the police said.
Information in it, especially it's probably the most up-to-date information. But they will even tell you, at this point in time, they have no reason to speculate foul play, anything on the parents. Everybody's been extremely cooperative of anything and everything they've asked us.
Was there also a restraining order on the biological dad?
That was posted in a Facebook group.
Yes.
That someone sent to me. I think, no, that was something else. Let me find it. Someone sent that to me.
It was actually underneath JLR's video. It wasn't in the Facebook group.
Okay, so here's what I will openly say about that.
Oh, there it is. That's what somebody posted in the comments.
So what I will say on that is this.
His S's.
People go through divorces and it is not the best of times. So
true.
I was not privy to that kind of information prior to my relationship with my wife.
Pervy.
About supposedly Sebastian's grandmother spoke out last night, and he said, Trev apparently quoted her from some comments on a YouTube chat. Is there anything that you want to say about this particular comment?
Get your
I
votes
will
in.
address it. Like I said, if somebody's refusing to address something that shows suspicion, I have no problems to address this. The grandmother, which is Seth, Robin is the name. She is Seth's biological father's mom.
Let's help a brother out here.
She made her statement on whatever YouTube channel. That's fine.
Thank you, Trev.
What I can say on that is real simple. Like I said earlier in this podcast, kids are going to say things. They're going to get upset because you're a parent and they don't like your answers. Sebastian has said, like I said before, the same thing about his biological father. But when you sit your kids down and you explain to them that being a parent, you have to do things that they don't like, unfortunately.
He's right, though. I mean, ultimately, he is right. That is part of being a parent. You have to do things that they don't like sometimes. He's right. Thank you so much, NFT, for your generous super chat. Thanks for the rewind, Jay. Listen to him creating the narrative for us. He does. Didn't Seth take the lie detector 3 times, says B in Florida? First 2 inconclusive. He fell asleep during one and passed last one. I'm not sure about that. I knew that they said he fell asleep. Think about with technology how hard it would be to cover up a violent crime. Yeah, you think he's just strict, that dude? I mean, there's no doubt he's an ass, like he's not the nicest dude, in the world. But we know a lot of Chris Proudfoots out there. You know what I mean? For someone who wasn't home, he sure knows everything that happened in the home. I think he was on FaceTime calls with Katie. I think he had eyes either with cameras or he was on FaceTime calls all the time. But I think they had cameras, especially if Sebastian was home after school by himself. Because remember, they said lying about doing work.
Is what it is. We're not, as parents, everybody knows we're not to be our child's best friends. We're there to be parents. To clear up her statement about me being verbally abusive to her, unfortunately, she's not going to tell you the full story. But there's always, remember, 3 sides to the truth. Hers, mine, and the truth in itself. So you can figure it out. Me and the
There's 3 sides to the story. Is he talking about with Robin?
Grandmother had a conversation. And this all stems back to an incident that a family member did that as the parents, we had consulted with law enforcement about something. They recommended not doing it. Lo and behold, something happened and something was done against what we decided. I reached out to the mom and asked for her help. During that conversation, some accusations got flung in my direction and toward my wife, which the mother or the grandmother actually doesn't have the whole story. She has never once sat down with me, my wife, her son,
I understand that,
and gotten the full truth on everything. She's only heard one side of the story. And I can promise you, I've got text messages and I'm not afraid to show them. I'm not afraid to screenshot them and let the public see it. Now, I will say, unfortunately, none of this has to do with the investigation of our son.
Weird. I didn't understand a thing he just said. I didn't understand a thing he just said. That was red flag number 49 if you want to revisit that one after.
Is there any areas that you and Katie want to have people that are out there searching, where you want them to be hanging flyers? What can you tell us about that?
Everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I mean, for me to give you a designated area would suspect that we think he's in an area. Well, we don't know. So anywhere
We
and
don't know what
everywhere,
we don't
people
know.
be very vigilant. Please be vigilant. You'd be surprised in how complacent we as society get when we're not focused on things. We're so driven on our day-to-day functions that we forget about things that are going on around us. We're all guilty, myself included. You know, anywhere and everywhere you can look. If there's not a flyer and you can print one off and post it up where you don't see a flyer, please do. I'm speaking for all three parents and all the families. We would greatly appreciate that. We send prayers, our thoughts, and our love out to everyone. I promise you. If there was a way we could make it felt and we could show it, we would.
All right, that's the end of the red flags, y'all. That's the end of the red flags. So, what are you guys thinking after watching that again? Like half of you think that all three know. Let's do one more poll and see. All right, I'm going to give you some options because half of you think they all three know. I'm going to give you, let's see, I think I can do 5 options. Okay, we're going to do Katie and Chris. Okay, I can only do 4. Shoot. Okay, so I have, who do you think has guilty knowledge? Katie and Chris? Seth and Chris? Katie? Or none of them? I wish I had more options, but that's all I can do. Who are you leaning more towards? If it's more towards Seth, then choose the Seth and Chris. If it's more towards, Chris, go with Katie and Chris. Oh, that was from March 22nd. That was just 50 that the team put together. That was something old we watched. I'm watching the poll. So 67% are with Katie and Chris. 11%, none of them. That would be the running away or lured away theory. Oh, Seth and Taco. Okay, if you think it's Seth and somebody else, choose Seth and Chris. If you think Seth is involved, you can choose option 2. You've never seen Dolly's, and I heard Seth was a jerk. Well, we'll go over that this week, Vivian, because I haven't seen it either. So I promise not to watch it until we can watch it together. We'll watch it maybe Tuesday morning. Our Tuesday morning live stream. What did you make of Katie's hand gesture across her throat? I honestly didn't notice it. I'm going to have to go back and replay and see that. Can we pick all of them? Myron says, I'm in the minority. I think it's Katie. Well, 62% of you go for Katie and Chris. Only 8% of you think it's just Katie. It looks like your two main suspects, according to the majority of this chat, are Chris and Katie Proudfoot. Uncle Taco and Aunt Corona. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. Mark Klein. Oh, I think all three of them know. I do. And I don't know how all three of them know. Like, I don't know. I kind of have a theory that the guys know, Seth and Chris know. And I think that Katie might be staying away. I will take a look at it, Michelle. I think Katie might be staying away because she doesn't like being around Seth, but that's just my opinion. It might not be a popular opinion, but he was always hanging around at the school. And if Chris went back to work and she didn't want to be around, you know, where Seth is like hanging out, I could see her bolting, you know? Think about it. If you had an ex-husband that was still hung up on you and shit, and then your husband had to go back to work, would you go with him? I might. All right, I just ended this. So what did we end up with? We ended up with 59% with Katie and Chris, 20% with Seth and Chris, 10% with none of them. That would be the running away or lured away theory, and 9% with Katie. The Katie and Chris would probably involve the Bauer Sox as well. If, you know, you think the Bauer Sox could be involved. He said in a live that's Canadian Nana. He said in a live that Seth and Chris talked every day. Canadian Nana, if you remember what video that was, can you please email me? Because I there's all these things that stick out in my head, but I can't find, you know, what interview it was. Looking beyond thinks Chris's parents are involved. You think Katie snapped? Everything's possible. I mean, everything's on the table. This is all our opinions. Sebastian, according to Seth, was not moving. He was still, Chris was still working on Katie. So before we leave, let me go ahead and replay this for you guys. And then if you guys see anything in here that stands out to you, you can go ahead and email us and let us know if you think anything should be added to this narrative of pretty much the first 16 hours of Sebastian's disappearance. So allow me to share this again. And then you guys comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. Here we go.
Were there any indication in your communications with Katie that like she didn't want custody, that she didn't want that responsibility, and there were problems, and she was running into some rough waters? Anything like that?
Most of my discussions were actually taken care with Chris, and Sebastian was supposed to come live with me. Chris was working on Katie, on getting her to agree to it. And all I wanted was my son to come live with me. I've already got him enrolled in school. I've had him enrolled in school. I gotta find him.
So kind of just walk us through that night.
We were out and about that day. We were having a really good weekend. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom, I love you." Said goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed.
Guys went out. You went to dinner. You went to somewhere, I believe you said BJ's, where he had a quote colossal popcorn. Then you came home that night, and around 9 p.m., you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says, okay, he goes to his room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, I love you, Mama, and he said, I love you, puppies. A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
So to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed.
Go to bed. And she did.
Now, mind you, that was, we stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
That night, I understand from previous statements you've made that you went to bed around midnight. Is that correct?
It is.
And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight, or before or after?
No, ma'am. We went to bed around the same time because we were on the phone together.
And
He was not home.
please excuse any of my questions. I'm simply trying to find out more about that night. Do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
Hey guys, we just hit
wasn't actually in the
16K.
home at all that weekend.
You were not home.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
so where were you, Mr. Proudfoot?
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
Question regarding your vehicles.
Signs of activity around Sebastian's home the night he disappeared. You see two light sources, which we've circled to help you follow. For point of reference, the security camera was pointed toward the back of Sebastian's home in a common area. In the video, you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame.
Thanks, Granny.
Then, subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later, and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it.
In another statement you gave, I understand that the video of the two flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now don't believe that two flashlights were observed around your home. Is that correct?
Yes. You're very correct. Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? She goes, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do.
What time?
And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
Okay, now, in all fairness, let's play devil's advocate. Let's flip-flop this. Let's flung over to the other side. What if Katie was hysterical?
Flung.
What if she was hysterical, so hysterical she really couldn't talk, but he didn't want to hang up with her, so he said, hold on, and clicked over? It does sound weird, but is it possible? It is.
What do you mean you can't find him? I said he's not in the house.
Told him to go to bed. And he said, come out of his room where he was playing. He said, all right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. Love you. And went to bed. He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise and I was like, I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep. And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he went in here.
That point, is that when you call 911 or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and
1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised that their 15-year-old male is not in the bed. Medium white male, 30 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. Female does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. The doors are locked at this time.
Just warming up.
Central to 47-180, 412. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
And this part isn't clear in my head. Where were you when you found out that Sebastian was missing? And who called you? What was that conversation like? And then sort of what happened next there?
Okay, before we go forward, I want to say, if my theory is correct that Katie did not want to be around Seth, maybe that's why she chose not to go to the vigils. Because if one of my theories is correct, that Seth could be the guilty party, allegedly, in my opinion, that he would be thinking that Katie would be everywhere he is and he'd be able to be around her. If that's the motive. If that's the motive. Good evening, One-Eyed Flo. Thanks for popping in. It's hot here, too. In the baby blue Infiniti.
Made it out to the parking garage. When I got made it out to the parking garage. When I got in my vehicle, I saw I had a missed call and a text message. Christopher Proudfoot. Text message was a 911, so I called immediately, and he's the one that told me that Sebastian was missing.
And how much detail did he give you about what happened, and how would you describe that moment, that call?
Wasn't much detail except for Sebastian. Except for he said Katie woke up, Sebastian's missing. So I left the parking garage and headed straight to her house.
And how far are you from the house?
About 45 minutes from downtown correction center to their house in Henderson, Sumner County.
No, it's not.
Okay, so now you respond. You're on that 45-minute ride there. Are you talking to anyone, or are you just pedal to the metal trying to get there?
Nah, I'm trying not to get a speeding ticket.
I get that, but I mean, are you just focused on getting there, or are you calling his mom to get more details?
No, I'm just focusing on traffic to get there as fast as possible.
So now,
see, that makes no sense to me unless this has happened before. But why wouldn't you call and be like, if it took him 45 minutes like he says it did, why wouldn't you call and be like, has he made it back yet? He drives for 45 minutes and just is focusing on the road. Let's see how far it is from the downtown Nashville Correctional Center, Detention Center, to 1008 Stafford Court. 22 minutes right now. If you take if you take a different way, the longest way is 30 minutes and the quickest way is 22 minutes right now. Just saying.
Get more details?
No, I'm just focusing on traffic to get there as fast as possible.
So now when you got there, what happened at that moment? Like, did you have a conversation with his mom? And did you try to find out, like, well, what the situation was here?
When I got there, there was already law enforcement presence there. So I walked in and just started listening to what was going on.
And
I wanted to hear what was going on. So I got to hear her telling law enforcement asking questions, me listening to the questions and listening to the responses from his mother.
And what did you form any opinion based upon what you were hearing?
Knew my son was missing, and I just started watching body language, listening to words coming out. Did I form an opinion? Yeah, I formed an opinion. I am only human.
Listen, that time of day, the traffic would be going into Nashville, not out. Okay? Everybody works in Nashville. They're going to be driving to Nashville. They're not going to be driving to Hendersonville where it's going to take them extra time. I call bullshit. Plus, he's saying he's trying not to get a speeding ticket. So that means he's driving fast. It takes 22 minutes right now. Right now, it takes 22 minutes. He's lying. Sorry.
And what was that opinion?
That again, once again, my son, something has happened to my son under her watch. And once again, she wasn't being an adult. She wasn't being a parent taking care of an autistic child.
Well, Danielle Parrish, you know what? That's the joy of YouTube. You have the choice to go watch someone else if you think things are crystal clearly annoying here. Because I find you to be crystal clearly annoying.
I want this to be crystal clear. You can't talk to a fucking log.
All right, let's end this poll and see where we stand. Thank you, Danielle, for the view tonight. Appreciate you. It's always a joy to have someone like you come in at the end. The main suspect, Katie, 49%, Seth, 23%, Chris, 16%, no one, 10%. It's really hard to narrow it down, really. The diagnosis was only 10 months prior. I hear you. I hear you. We're going to keep watching the interviews. We're going to keep talking about Sebastian. We're not going to stop. People like that want us to stop, right? You think Katie, CP, and Seth are all covering? Yeah, exactly, Gypsy Queen. Like Seth can do better as a parent. He leaves Sebastian while he works. Yeah, he's trying to make Katie sound really bad, dude. I have a feeling, and my theory is that he's trying to set up both of them. Bye, Danielle. Katie last saw him, allegedly. Allegedly. We don't know who last saw him. Because whoever took him out of the area saw him last. All right, it's time to go. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We're going to be watching the House Oversight Committee meeting, and we're going to see the head of the Secretary of State on the hot seat tomorrow answering questions. We heard tonight that the Trump shooter researched Ethan freaking Crumbly. He researched Ethan Crumbly. Yeah, Seth is still crying over Katie. Keep that in mind, guys. All right, Myron, we need to run our credits so we can get to bed. And I think only one knows where he is, too, Michelle. And reconvene on the other channel tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to see what happened with the Secret Service. Puff, puff, pastime, says Streamlabs. Love you too, Amy. Thanks for being here, everybody. Myron, are you ready for those credits? Heathen, it's good to see you. Stay cool. WinTube, you as well. Queen of Hearts, good night. Megan, good night. Jody, good night. Shell, moderators, good night. All right, Myron says we're ready. Let's do it. Pine Needle, good night. You live 15 minutes away from the shooter's house. Oh my gosh, Janine. Yes, let's watch this together tomorrow. We'll go over what we know. All right. Myron says let's go. Bye, guys. Oh. Did we have a credit malfunction over here on Every Day with Jay? I think we did. All right, we're just going to have to dance it out. Myron, let's try it one more time. It's not showing up. Why isn't it showing up? Hold on. Don't leave yet, guys. I got to figure this out over here. If I can. All right, let's do one more. And if it doesn't work, we're just going to dance it out. Thank you so much, you guys, for 16K tonight. Second channel, 16K. Whoop, whoop. We're going to hit in 20 next. All right, we're going to try credits one more time, Myron, and we'll have to work on this. All right.
It looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck.
Oh my God, I was muted. Good night.
God almighty.
Roberta. Tell you what, that dang old internet thing, click, it's real easy, man.
I'm gonna get drunk and ride my horse.